On my channel, we've talked a lot about the best neighborhoods to live in Clark County area, but today we're talking about the neighborhoods to avoid buying in. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Hannah Dubyne. I'm your host here at the Living in Vancouver and Camas Washington YouTube channel, and I'm glad you guys are here today because we're talking about an important topic, which is neighborhoods to avoid buying in. I feel like this is an important video to make because, as a real estate agent by trade, we want to make sure that our clients are making good decisions with their money and their investment. If you're not our client, we're glad you're watching the video too, and we want you to make a good investment as well. So we're going to go through these top 5 areas, and we're going to talk about it from a factual perspective today, mostly centered around resale value, appreciation, inventory, but also things like school ratings, commute times, and traffic. Quick disclaimer before we get started, we follow fair housing rules here at Dubyne Realty Group, as we all should, and so we're not going to talk about things that are prohibited under those laws, so we're going to keep it as factual as we can. The first area I would avoid buying in is orchards. Orchards is really a pretty large part of Northeast Vancouver, I would say all the way up to Brush Prairie, and it encompasses a lot of homes. The first thing that stands out to me about orchards, and it's really obvious if you've spent any amount of time there, is that the traffic and congestion there is really bad these days. I feel like even if we go back 5 years ago, it was completely different. This is in large part due to all the development out there, which is another con for this particular area. It's not that development itself is bad, but how an area is developed really has an impact on the quality of life and the infrastructure around, and I feel like the development in orchards just has not been done the best. What I have to say about orchards is that there's not really anything particularly special about this area. It doesn't have a huge community feel, it doesn't have like a cute little downtown, it doesn't really have a place for people to gather, it's very hodgepodged. There's a lot of infill development in this area, which means there's little random pockets of newer neighborhoods, and then there's something older, and then there's a farmhouse, so it's very just not put together feeling. Because of this, the new development in Orchards area has been very blah. It's a flat area, and what we end up with there is basic, unoriginal tract homes that are selling in the $500,000 to $650,000 range, right? It's not a high-end market at all, and there's a lot of inventory. So when we talk about resale value, it is really, really hard to resell in orchards right now. We always have clients in orchards. We still serve people there gladly, but man, it is so tough to compete with all these developers and builders if there's 6 to 9 months of inventory up in that area. I would also say we've really seen a flat line in appreciation in the orchards area post-COVID rush, whereas other areas of town, Fisher's Landing, Camas, Philida, Salmon Creek, Ridgefield, where we work a lot, they have seen really great appreciation in the last 3 years, whereas orchards, there really hasn't been a lot. Second area you might want to reconsider buying a home in is Image. Image is also in East Vancouver, south of Orchards, and Image has a lot of older ranches. When I say older, think like 70s, 80s, some 90s as well. A lot of these homes have been pretty run down, and there are many no HOA communities in this area. I know that folks are looking for no HOA a lot of times, but it's meant that yards have gone to the wayside and neighborhoods just don't look that good anymore. And then the homes aren't being kept up. There's a lot of competition with ranches on the market, a lot of 3.2s, a lot of 3.1s. And again, it just doesn't really have that community togetherness that most folks are looking for. School ratings in this area also don't seem to be the best, so that's another thing that is tough for resale. We'll put up a little thing on niche.com so you guys can see that here. Another thing I'd say about Image, which is also true for orchards, is that it could take some time to get places. Even though Image is in East Vancouver and it doesn't look like it's too far off of the 205 or the 500, if you're kind of deep back there, it could take you a good 10 or 12 minutes, depending on your neighborhood, to get over to the freeway. The third neighborhood you might want to reconsider buying a home in is Rose Village or Fourth Plain Village. This area is tucked right in the corner between I-5 and the 500, in between all 4 freeways in Vancouver. The main reason that this is probably not the best buy these days is because the Burnt Bridge Creek Trail goes right through this area. If you've lived in Vancouver for a long time, you probably remember back in the day when Burnt Bridge Creek was amazing. Not that long ago, 7 to 10 years ago, it was still okay. 20 years ago, it was absolutely beautiful and amazing. But today, Unfortunately, the Burnt Bridge Creek Trail has been compromised by the homeless population. Obviously, we don't want to take this topic lightly. We've made videos on homeless issues in Clark County, and we know that these are people experiencing something traumatic, but it is unsafe. And a lot of those people who are camping out on the trail there, they are using drugs, they are going through mental health issues, and it is just, there's no other way to put it besides it is unsafe. I know that the city has come through and done cleanups in the Burnt Bridge Creek Trail many times in the last 5 years, but that camp just keeps moving around. It doesn't ever fully go away, and they always seem to pop back up. Unfortunately, there have been incidents on the Burnt Bridge Creek Trail of people, you know, getting attacked, getting assaulted, being blindsided, so I would just not be going too close to what's going on there. Also, a lot of homes in this area are really, really old, and just because a home is really, really old doesn't mean inherently it's not good, but it's just not as common in this area. Think, you know, a lot of bungalows, 2-bed, 3-bedroom with 1 bathroom. Those don't tend to resale very well, and they could have electrical and plumbing that needs to be updated. Whereas you buy something from the 80s and after, which is the majority of our homes in Clark County, you really shouldn't need to update electrical or plumbing. The 4th area I would reconsider buying a home in is Minnehaha. Now, to give Minnehaha some credit, it's right smack dab in the middle of I-5, 205, and the 500, right in that triangle area, so it's a very convenient location. You can get to either side of town in 10 to 12 minutes, and so that's super great. But other than that, it's just kind of a random glob of infill developments and just random houses. It lacks that community feel and that presence that people are really looking for. Now, I will say it's a lot less expensive to buy something in Minnehaha than it is in Fisher's Landing, especially Camas or Salmon Creek, but you're also going to sell it for less when you go to sell, and resale just hasn't been as good here. Appreciation hasn't been as good. So if you can afford something a little bit more north in the nicer neighborhoods or in East Vancouver, that's probably a better move. My 5th and final suburb you might want to avoid buying in right now is Battleground. Now, I kind of begrudgingly put this one on the list because personally, I really like Battleground, and I think it's got a lot of great characteristics. So there's kind of an asterisk by this one, okay? Battleground really has 2 markets. They've got a market in the city, and then they've got acreage properties. We're not really so much talking about acreage properties, but we're more talking about the city lots. If you want to live on, you know, a 1/4 acre or a 7,000 square foot lot, something like that. Battleground has grown dramatically in population in the last 25 years, and so I think that's brought on a lot of challenges. Back in 1999, their population was around 6,000-ish, and today they're at nearly 23,000 residents. So that's meant that they've had to expand their infrastructure and expand their city footprint, and it's just hard to do that at such a fast pace. We've really seen all this farmland just turn into developments and businesses, and traffic up there, I think, is one of the biggest reasons why I might avoid Battleground. I know people, I have friends and family that have moved up to that Battleground area because it's more affordable, and it's really a great spot for first-time homebuyers, I do have to say that. But when they want to come into town, that commute can be 20 minutes to up to 45 minutes during rush hour. The main road to get from Battleground into Vancouver or to the 205 is going to be 117th or the 503, and it's a highway with stoplights on it, so it's very stop go, and it really just clogs up going southbound in the morning, but particularly going northbound in the afternoons, it's kind of rough. Another really interesting turn of events in Battleground is that all the national builders have come into this market really the last 5 to 7 years. D.R. Horton, Taylor Morrison, LGI Homes, Richmond American Homes, they're all up there, they're all competing with each other, and they're competing with you if you're gonna sell your home. They're offering low interest rates, they're offering closing cost concessions, they're dropping the prices on their homes, and so that's hard to compete with, and it's creating a community of, I don't know, just unoriginal homes, in my opinion, that aren't that high quality. We specialize in new construction at Dubyne Realty Group, and whenever possible, we're trying to get our new construction buyer clients to purchase a home with a local or regional builder because we know that they're going to get a superior quality home almost every time over a national builder. Battleground is growing fast. It's going to continue to grow. I know they've had some difficulties adapting to the newcomers over the last 20 years. So we wish them the best, but maybe think twice about buying in Battleground. Okay, so that's everything I have for you guys today about the top 5 areas to avoid living in Vancouver, Washington. I know it's a little bit controversial, but honestly, let us know what you think down below in the comments. And if you're looking for professional guidance buying or selling a home in Clark County, Washington, myself and my team at Dubyne Realty Group, we'd love to serve you. Text or email us. Our contact information is down below, and we can't wait to see you again soon. Bye.